guys to a brand new session of HTML tutorials. In this tutorial, we are going to cover all the basic concepts of HTML. What is HTML? HTML is a hypertext markup language used to create websites. It can be assisted with cascading style sheets and scripting languages like JavaScript. Hope you guys are already excited. So with no further delay, let's get started. All you need is a code editor. You can use your default notepad to write your HTML code. In this course, I will be using the Visual Studio Code, which is a powerful text editor for coding. This Visual Studio Code is available for Windows, Linux, and even for Mac users. So if you want to use it, link at top of the description. Now let's know how to save your file. It's not that complicated. Just name your file with .html extension and you're ready to go. Now let's talk about the structure of HTML. The structure is like a syntax in other programming languages. The structure of HTML is not a big task. Now this is what I call a structure of HTML. The first line in this tells the browser that it's a document type of file. An important thing to remember is that we have to use the angle brackets in HTML. Let's come back to the structure. On the next line, we open the HTML tag within which our entire code is gonna lie. The title tag will always lie inside the head tag and is used to display title for the page in the browser. If you want to link another page with this page, you can link it within the head tag, which I am going to explain in the later part of the session. The body tag contains the code which is used to display in the web page. Now let's talk about the headings and paragraph tags. To specify headings in a web document, we use the tags h1 through h6. As the name implies, the h1 headings are the highest level and generally display the largest or boldest text. Subheadings continue with h2, h3 and so on with h6. Now let's take a look at this example. Now this is a sentence which is enclosed within h1 tag, h2 and so on up to h6. Now let me save this file and take a look at the browser to know how this is implemented. Now as you could see, this sentence which is enclosed within the h1 tag looks more bolder than this sentence which is enclosed within the h6 tag. Now this gives us a clear shot about the heading tags. So on real life, if you want to create a web page that describes more briefly about a company, you could use the heading tags. On the other hand, HTML paragraphs are contained within the p tags. Let me show you how the p tag works. Let's open it and yeah, it's closed. Now let's insert a statement inside the p tag. Yeah, let's bring it into a single screen. Perfect. Now let's save this file and see how it's displayed in the browser. Yeah, the paragraph is displayed in the browser as expected. If you think it's smaller, then you could resize it using the style attribute. The style attribute is something which allows you to style text within the tag. Usually, stylings are done in CSS, but if you want to style just one line of your entire code, then you could do it in your HTML file. Now let's take a look how the style attribute works. All you have to do is add the style attribute where you want to style your text and do your styling. Let's take an example. If you want to style the first statement, you need the color to be blue. Let's type style equal to and within double quotes color blue. Let's save it and yep, the color of the statement has been turned to blue. Let's take another example. If you want the background color of the statement to be in green, use style and just change the background color to be green. Sorry. And yeah, you could see just the background color has been changed and the statement remains within the same color. So if you want to increase the size of this paragraph tag, just type style and font size, say 200%. Yes, yeah, you could see the font size of the paragraph has been increased. You could also increase the font family of this. All you have to do is type font family and click any family you need. So let me click this. See, as you can see, the font family of this paragraph tag has been changed. You could also have style within the head tag. Giving style tag within the head tag is called as internal CSS. But before that, let me show you how the title tag works, since I haven't touched it yet. As I have mentioned earlier, the title tag is used to display title of the web page. Let me demonstrate how it works. Now let's head over to the title tag and give this page a title. Let's give it a funny title as sample page. Now let's save and head over to our browser. You could see the title of the page has been changed here. This is how the title tag works. Let's head back to our code and learn about the internal CSS. I'm not going to go deeply into the CSS topics since it's just a beginner's course in HTML. But I would like to brush up something about the CSS. So below the title tag, let's open the style tag and close it. Within these tags, we are going to style a page. So we need to specify which part of our code we need to style. So let's take these styles. Yeah. Now say if we want to change the third statement to a blue color, all we need to give is h3, which directs us to the third statement, and open our curly brackets. An important note, the HTML works with angle brackets and the CSS works with curly brackets. So on h3, if we need to change the color to blue, it's the same technique. So give color and blue. Let's save and head back to our browser. You could see the third statement has been changed to blue. This is how internal CSS works. Now let's talk about the comments. So if you are a programmer, I need not have to explain about comments. But if you are a fresher, comments are nothing but lines of code you don't want the browser to read. So if you don't want the browser to read this line of code, you just have to comment it out and it will prevent from reading this line and just print the other lines. So let's comment this and see how it works. So this is how we have to comment. So let's take this part and put it here. Now as you could see, this line has been changed to a green color. Now this indicates that this line of code has been commented out and the browser will not be able to read this line. So let's save this file and head over to our browser. You could see that the third line of code is not being printed in the browser. This is how the comments work in HTML. We could also comment the codes in CSS, but it's not the same way as we did in HTML. Let's get back to our code and know how to comment in CSS. Now this, as I mentioned earlier, is an internal CSS. Let's try comment it out. All we have to do is a backslash followed with a star. And let's close it over here. Now this indicates that these three lines have been commented out. Let's save, and yeah, the blue color has been changed to a default black color. This is how comments are working in CSS and in HTML. Comments are very useful in programming nowadays, because if you just want to experiment with your code and if you don't want to interfere with your actual code, you just can comment it out and do your experiment, which will prevent you from data loss. Now let's talk about linking other pages to our HTML file. Let's start with the head tag. In the head tag, you could link other CSS files to our HTML file. So if you have a CSS code which styles all of your web page and you have to link it with a HTML file, you just need to type one line of code which links it to our HTML file. So let's see an example. I have this CSS page and it's the same code which we have in our HTML file. So let me remove this, and all I have to do is link that CSS page to our file. So just type link rel equal to style sheet to know the browser that it's a style sheet type of file, and href, and within the quotes we have to give the name of the CSS file. Since my CSS and HTML file are within the same folder, I just need to name the file. So let me type the name of the file, sample.css, and let's close this. And let me save this and head over to the browser. You could see that the third statement is still in blue color. This means our CSS file is linked to our HTML file. Now let's know how to link another HTML file with our HTML file. So I have this page2.html which just displays hello world, just to show that there's some content in this page. And let's try linking this page with our HTML page. Now this can be linked within the body tag. All we have to do is open our anchor tag and href and just give the name of the page we need to link. So it's page2.html, and we have to close our anchor tag. But here there's an important thing to be noted. You have to enter some data within the anchor tag. It's like directing a user to another page on clicking the data. So let me type click here to enter page and save this file, head back to our browser, and you could see a link over here. If we click here, it heads to the page 2. And this is how linking other HTML to a normal HTML file works. Now that we discussed about linking two files together, let's discuss about linking an image to our HTML file. So if I need to link this image to this HTML file, it's the same procedure how we linked a CSS or an HTML file to this HTML file. So first let me remove all these headings and paragraph tag so it looks a bit neat, and we need to type image source and give the source of the image within the double quotes. So it's rocket.jpg, and let me save this and head to the browser. You could see the image displayed in the browser. Now this is how we link an image to our HTML file. So let's take a scenario. If the image file is not present in the same directory where our HTML file is present, say it's present in a folder within this HTML folder, let's know how to link the image in this HTML file. So what I'm trying to say is I'm going to create a new folder named as image, and I'm going to paste this image within this folder. Now if I head back to our code editor, you could see a folder named as image, below which our image is present. Now if I head back to our browser, the image will not be displayed in the browser since it is not in the same folder as our HTML file is. So in this scenario, let's head back to our code editor and change the source of the image. The source is it's present in a folder named as image, below which our image is present. So we need to give the name of our folder and a slash, and you could see a pop-out displaying the image which is present inside the folder. So now if we save our file and head back to our browser, you could see the image which is displayed over here. Now this is how we link an image, or even if we create a new folder for CSS, we could also link it the same way as we did now. Now that we learned how to link an image to our HTML file, let's try link a video to our HTML file. It's the same procedure how we linked our image. As you could see, there's a video over here, and let's try linking it to our HTML file. All we have to do is just type video and give the source of our video. So and let's close it. Just save the file and head back to our browser. You could see there's the image below which our video is present, but without any controls over it, so we don't play our video. To bring back the controls, all we have to do is come over here and type controls to bring the controls to our video. Just save it and the browser, refreshing it, you could see the controls over the video. You have the play button, the time lapse of the video, the volume slider, and even the minimize maximize button. So let's try resizing it to bring it to a single frame. So come over here and type width equals say 100 and just save it. So you could see the video panel has been resized. So if you want the video panel to be displayed below the image, all we have to do is use a break statement. Using a break statement isn't a complicated way. Let's head back to our browser and over here let's use the break statement. Just open the angle bracket, type BR, which is the break statement, and just close it. Save it, and you could see the video panel is below the image. Now this is how you link the video to our HTML file. Now that we learned to include videos in our HTML page, we could also add iframes to our HTML page. Adding iframes to our HTML is so simple. Just go to your YouTube and click which video you need to display in your web page and click on the share option. You could see various options over here to share. Let's click embed and you could see a few lines of code. Just copy and paste in your code editor. Let's come over here and just paste it. And all you need is to save and go back to your browser, and you could see the video displayed over here. If you click this, the video will start to play. This is how you use the iframes in HTML. Now Let's learn about forms in HTML. Creating forms is very essential in each and every website. So listen to this part carefully. First, let me remove these 3 lines of code so that it looks neat. So within the body tag, let's create a form tag. Now, in this place, we are going to create all the codes needed for our form. So first, let's learn about the input type. Say if a user inputs his username or an email ID, it's just as a normal text type. It is displayed to everyone. But if the same user inputs his password, it won't be displayed to anyone. It's like an encrypted type called as password. Let's look at that. So let me type enter your username to say the user that he has to enter his username in this field. So in the actual part, let's type input and type to define which type of field it is. So within the double quotes, we have to give text since the username is a normal text. And in the next line, let's make the user to enter his password. So enter the password and in the input tag I equals password. Now let's bring it to another line. So let's use a break statement. Save this file and head over to our browser. As you could see, there are 2 fields present. The first field is a username and second is for the password. So if we type the first field, the text is being displayed to everyone. But if I type in the password field, you could see the text isn't being displayed. Now this is the difference between the text and password type. Next, let's learn about the radio button and checkbox. The radio button and checkbox are selective buttons which is used to show various options, and the user can select the desired option he wishes to. Now this is how the radio button code looks like. So I insisted the user to select his gender type. So male and female are 2 fields. The type is radio, and here is the main part. You have to give the same name for every field, or else the user will be able to select all the fields in the radio button. So let me explain this. Since I have the name equal to gender in both the fields and I have saved the file, let's head to the browser. You could see only one field can be selected. But if you remove this name from both the lines and save, you could see that you could select both the fields. Now this is how the radio button works. Now let's talk about the checkbox. Now these 3 lines of code are the codes for the checkbox. Here I have insisted the user to let me know which flavor he likes the most. So there are 2 fields, the chocolate and strawberry field, and the type is of checkbox. In the checkbox, the user could select either one or both the fields. So the name field need not have to be mentioned in the checkbox. So let's save this code and head to our browser. You could see that I can select both the fields. Now this is how checkbox works. Checkbox are very useful in HTML, as you could do the to-do list in your web page using these. Now let's learn about the text area. Text areas are fields where you can write your suggestions in your web pages. So all you have to do is text area and then close it. Within the text area, just give placeholder equal to something you need to type. So you type something. So after I save this and head back to our browser, you could see a small field over here. Within the placeholder, type something. If you start typing, the placeholder gets vanished and you could type anything you need. This text area is also expandable, so you could expand however you need and use this to your desired wish. Now let's learn about the select tag. Select tag is something which shows a drop-down list with a bunch of options from which you could select one. So let's see how it works. Let's open the select tab, and within which you could give any options you need. So let me give the same options which I used here. So within the select tab, you need to open your option tab and just close it, within which you give chocolate. And the second option is strawberry. So let's save this and head to our browser. You could see the select tag over here with two options, and you could select any one of those and it changes. This is how select tag works. Now let's learn how the date tag works, so that the user could enter his date of birth in the web page. For the date tag, all we have to do is, so let's create a paragraph to mention the user to input his date of birth. So enter your date of birth. So in the next line, open your input and type this date. Just save this and head to a browser. You could see a tag over here, and if you click it, the calendar opens, so the user will enter his date of birth in here. Now let's learn how the submit button works. The submit button, which I do not have to mention, is used to submit your form to your web page, which is processed in the backend. So to create a submit button, just type input and type which is submit, and let's save and head over to our browser. You could see a button over here. It says submit query. So if you need to change the text over here, just head over to your code editor and over here just type value and whatever you need to be displayed. So let me type click me. So let's save this and head over to the browser. You could see the click me text over here. So this is how the submit tag works. Now let's take a look about the table tags in HTML. Table tags are used to create timetable or other stuff related to tables in a quick and simple way. In table, you have to input the data in row wise. For filling data in row wise, you can use the table row tag, within which the table data tag comes into use, and you can fill the data you needed for that row. And then to move on to the next row, open the table row tag again and repeat the process. So if we want to create a table for browser shares in September 2021, as you could see, the Chrome contains of 65% of share and Safari contains 18%, Microsoft Edge contains 3.77%. Now let's try bringing this data to the table and let's learn how to do it. Let's head back to our code editor. Let me remove this form tag so that it looks neat. So, inside the body tag, let me open the table tag. Now first, let's mention the border of the table. I would like to give a border of 1. It's up to your decision. You can keep the border as your desired wish. So within the table tag, let's go to the first row. So TR, which resembles the table row tag which I mentioned earlier. So within this table row, the first row consists of the headings. So let me name 2 headings named as browser and share. So the table heading tag first is browser. Let me name the second heading as share. So this is my first row of the table. Now let me open the second row. The table consists of only one heading and you can give n number of rows and data you need. So for the second row, you only have to give the table data. So this is the table data tag, and in this table data tag, let me first minimize. Yeah, so the Chrome, this is my first data, and the second data is 65.15%. Now the next row comes the Safari. So Safari is the first data, and the next data is 80.4%. So first let's save this, and you could see a table over here, and let's compare this. The first row consists of headings, and you could see that the heading is bolder than the other text, and the second row consists of Chrome and 65.15%. Now as you could see, the first data gets filled in the first column of the table, and the second data gets filled in the second column, and this is how you fill the data in the table. So if you need to change the style of the table and make it look in a great way, you could always change this using the CSS properties, but I'm not going to teach it in this tutorial since it's just a basic HTML tutorial. So subscribe to my channel and you will get notified when I upload a CSS video. Now let's learn about lists in HTML. Usually there are 2 types of list. One is the ordered list and the second is the unordered list. As the name implies, ordered list shows item in list with ordered numbers or alphabets. On the other hand, the items in unordered list is displayed in symbols like dot, square, and boxes. These lists are used in many parts of the website, from the navbar to a footer. So let's hop into this topic. So let's learn about the ordered list followed by the unordered list. So within the body tag, let's open our ordered list tab, and within which our lists are going to be employed. So within the ordered list, let's create the list. So li, and you can type any text you need. So let me type chocolate, and the next list item would be strawberry. Now let's save this and you could see the ordered list items are displayed with the numbers as default. Now this is how ordered list works. So if you want to change the display type from numbers to alphabets, you could change it over here as type equals. You could see a menu over here, and these are the options you could change over from the number. So let me click this, let's say, and hit your browser. You could see the order has changed from numbers to alphabets. This is how the ordered list works. Now let's take a look about the unordered list. It's the same way as proceeding the ordered list. So unordered list means UL, and let me name the same list items. So LI and chocolate. The next list item is strawberry, and let me save this. You could see the default unordered list is a dot, and you could also change the type of the unordered list as type equals. Let me give it a square. Sorry, square. Let's save this, and you could see the dot has been changed to square. You could also change this to a circle. Yes, you could see that the square has been changed to a circle, and this is how the list in HTML works. Congratulations on coming to the end of this beginner's tutorial for HTML course. Hope you enjoyed throughout the course and grasped knowledge about HTML. I would love to hear from you on the comment section about this video. You could always ask your doubts and I would be there to clarify it. I will be posting more videos like this, so don't forget to subscribe my channel so that you don't miss those. Hit the bell icon, take care, and bye.